Hello, my name's Paul and I'm the CEO at ESPC, and with me today on the couch I have...
My name's Lisa Connolly and I am with the firm McDougall McQueen.
Hello Lisa. Right, so today what we're going to do, we're going to have a chat about the property market, and I thought what would be really useful is, you know, we've got some statistics and sometimes they can be a little bit dry, so I thought what we'd do is just really bring this to life by getting your example of what's going on, what's happening at the coalface really, because you're pretty much out there every day, aren't you?
Yes.
7 days a week.
Yes, sadly. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought probably the first thing would be is just how are you finding the market at the moment? How's things?
Yeah, the market remains strong. Yeah, it really does. There's a nice appetite for property right across the board.
Yeah.
You know, first-time buyers, even with the hike in interest rates, there's still a nice demand.
Yeah.
You know, rental prices are through the roof,
Right.
so buying still remains a really nice option.
A really good option. Yeah.
And yeah, properties right across the board remain strong.
Yeah. So I've got some sort of key headlines here, and one of the things that we're looking at, so the speed of sale, so the time it comes on the market to getting an offer, and the average across Edinburgh, Lothian, Fife and Borders, and I know you operate in much of that area, is 13 days.
Yeah.
So it's 3 days quicker than it was this time last year. So property's moving really quickly. But have you got any examples of that? I mean, are you seeing that? Have you got any sellers?
Absolutely. I mean, lots of examples, but one that springs to mind, a very recent one actually, was so clients that have lived in their property that they bought from the council, so ex-local property out in the Lothians, they've lived there for like 53 years, finally decided that they wanted to downsize and move on, did that, nervous, but
on 53 years you're going to be on here.
Yeah, I can't imagine the packing, but anyway. So then decided they want to come to the market, so put them on the market at their own pace, very quickly gained a lot of interest. So I think it went on the market the Thursday afternoon. By the Friday afternoon we already had 14 viewings booked in for the weekend. So quickly. We then on the Monday morning we came into a call from the clients to say, this is great, but we're frazzled. You know, that's plenty. Even though we had 30 plus inquiries still sitting looking to view, made a plan with the clients and actually decided to close it that day.
So at that point you said that's enough, we've got enough to work with here.
Totally. And the thing is, even if there wasn't quite enough, we would have made it fit. You know, because the clients were in the position where they just didn't want any more people through the door. That was there.
Because I mean, what you don't want to do is overwhelm the clients here, and I think that's the key point, isn't it? You're in control. You're going to take the client's instructions. It's always what it's doing best by the clients, isn't it? Really. So have you gone to closing date on that?
Yeah, that one actually. So hit the market Thursday. 14 viewings over the weekend. We closed it quickly on the Monday afternoon with 8 notes. So I think we got 37,000 over home report for it. So outstanding result for the client. But more importantly than the money, they then feel content with, they've had a good bursting exposure at the market, they've got a great result, and they're not going to be stressed by doing anything more.
Absolutely.
So,
well, that's
really good result.
It sounds like it's all ended well there. So
definitely.
Move quickly. I mean, interesting, one of the other key statistics we look at is the premium that's being paid at the moment for properties. As you've just described there, the market's very busy. For the right sort of property, it's moving very quickly. But that doesn't have to put sellers off, because they can, you know, sellers can take the time finding something. We note that the sort of price versus the home report, a premium's been paid. It's 108.3% of the home report value. I guess you're seeing this because not only are you acting for sellers, but you also act for buyers, aren't you? So you see it on both sides, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's very rare now that you would be able to secure a property. And this is not just in sort of Edinburgh city centre, this is in the Lothians and the surrounding areas. Very rare that you could buy something at home report value. Very rare.
Because fixed price, I mean, interesting enough, sort of 38% of properties across the area are going to a closing date, so you can see what's happening. There's not that many fixed price properties at the moment.
There's definitely not. And you'll tend to find the stuff that's going fixed price is maybe something that's originally sold, and for some reason the sale's not completed, so they've had to come back and go and fixed so they can facilitate a quick sale again.
Move it on. Okay, no, that's fine. And I think one of the reasons we're seeing this speed of sale up and lots of interest in properties, is that there is a little bit of a shortage of properties coming to the market. When I say shortage, we're back at the sort of pre-pandemic levels, which seems like an awful long time ago now. Are you seeing that? I mean, there's properties coming on. Is it a level which was back in maybe 2019 now?
It's probably more in line with that. And I mean, I think the thing with the property market is in very simple terms, it's supply and demand. So the more supply there is, the more choice people have got, and then you're finding prices don't drive quite as high.
Absolutely.
Whereas, obviously, since the pandemic, people's homes have never been more important, have they? So people have been at home, and that's where they've been spending their money. So it really has created such a spike. But we are starting to see more coming to the market, and like you say, 13 days is the average selling time, which is even quicker than it was in the pandemic.
Absolutely,
So it's a tentative time in the market, but it still remains strong.
It's still a good time. I agree, and we can see that. And in terms of properties that are selling, what do you see the greatest demand for? Because you cover a whole spectrum from sort of first-time buyer flats all the way through to detached property. Where is the biggest demand? Is that an unfair question?
Truly, there's strong demand throughout, but there definitely is the start of the market. So for the first-time buyers, the ex-local authority staff, the two-bed flats,
which are good value, aren't they?
Absolutely, that fall into the sort of the affordable price points for first-time buyers. The middle of the market, so your 4-bed detached and all that, you always got a strong market for that. Although saying that, in the areas that we trade in, there's lots and lots of development with new builds.
So that would be sort of Mid Lothian, East Lothian, that sort of areas.
And even the surrounding of the city, that you've got lots of new builds. So the second-hand new build market, that's probably a little bit lighter because you're still competing with brand new stuff.
Of course.
But then when you get to sort of the higher end, constant, the strong areas like the Bruntsfields, Morningsides, we've got buyers queuing out the door for that kind of stuff.
So you get that on, then there's a real lot of interest, and then you go to closing, as you've described, very quickly. I mean, us as a firm, last month, our transactions, our sale transactions for the stuff we were marketing, we were almost £1 million over home report value. Wow.
Not
just for one house.
No, sadly.
So cumulatively, if you added all those properties up, that's in excess. That's a million.
I think we were 978,000 over home report.
Wow.
So that is cash flow that's moving in our areas in this market, that's not associated with a mortgage or any kind of finance.
Wow.
So it shows you that the money's out there.
Very much so.
But what we do need is we need to keep the momentum going.
Supply of property.
Supply to keep coming in.
And I think that's the message, isn't it? I suppose to a seller right now, is there a message that around, look, it's okay to go on the market and take your time to find something? Because buyers will wait, won't they? Are you find that? Will a buyer wait?
Absolutely.
Have you got examples of maybe?
For the right property. So the difficulty you have is the sellers, the nervousness around them going forward because they've got a very specific need.
Yes.
But then when that specific property comes up,
and if they haven't sold,
they're not considered as to be in a strong enough position.
Well, there's actually, if we flip that then, so imagine you're acting on behalf of a seller, which I'm sure you are on a very regular basis, and you get 2 offers in from 2 different buyers. And let's say that somebody's offering £5,000 more, but they've got a property to sell versus somebody that hasn't got a property to sell that can proceed immediately. What would most sellers do in that situation?
Truly, I mean, depending on what, of course, every seller's position is different. In the main, if you're talking about that kind of difference in a price point, most sellers are going to go with a less risk.
So they'll take certainty, so they'll accept less, but for the fact that they can move. Unless it's a seller that wants to take the time and hasn't found something, and then they're a little bit different.
Exactly, and there's definitely, of course, moving home is massive, isn't it? So especially, like, look at that, we've got people living in their houses for 53 years, But what sellers need to almost take a leap of faith, and that obviously is all about choosing the right agent that will look after the whole journey. For us, we are not interested in just getting something on and getting sold quick and away. We want to make sure that that whole journey is catered for. So if someone is that little bit more nervous, like we've just
you've got to hold the hand.
Of course we do. Like we've just had a couple who actually had a signed instruction form from us a year ago. And they pop in, and they're like, "Will we? Won't we?" So it was just a bit of a, for us, a hand holding, just
no
a case of
selling,
no pressure, just do it when you're ready. And like every time, came to the market, it closed in about 10 days, got really strong money. Funnily enough, the property that they had previously offered on, which was down in Peebles, that they were unsuccessful on, came back to the market.
Wow. It was meant to be, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So it came back to the market, and they were able to secure that because their offer was rejected previously because they weren't proceedable. So, like, and it does.
It can work out.
People think that's a unicorn story. It's really not. Like, these things do happen.
It's funny how it all works out in the end, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
But
it's just that leap of faith, isn't it?
I think you're right. I think it's about, and I would say this, wouldn't I? But it's having the solicitor estate agent, isn't it? It's having the agent and the conveyancer working together. Because that's the key to this, isn't it?
Definitely.
You're going to get your hand held. You want it. You want to make sure that both parts of the business know exactly what's happening.
Exactly. And like the thing for us is, we would much rather our sellers lost a sale than felt pressured into moving in to somewhere or proceeding with a transaction that they weren't comfortable with. So for us, you know, until it gets to that point, we will always explain to our sellers that, you know, it's not over until that point. And when you find something, then we'll tie everything together. You know? And then it accelerates their position as well, doesn't it? Because they're then in the best possible position to proceed on a purchase.
Funny, just the other day we were talking to somebody, and I think, you know, just that point about it's never too early to go and talk to your solicitor estate agent, is it?
Not,
you know, the earlier they go, just the far easier it is for you to, and you're seeing the market, to say, at the coalface, really. So stats are stats, but it's great to hear those stories today. So that's been brilliant, Lisa. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Thanks for listening, and we will see you soon.
Bye guys.
Bye.